All right, so we're going to get started. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Mary McCarley. I'm the Health Education Content Specialist with Goodheart-Willcox. I am the co-author of our middle school health program, and today's session will be using our 2025 copyright health program in Google Classroom. And I know we have 30 minutes, so in the next 30 minutes, our plan is to highlight this 2025 copyright in Google Classroom. Now, I just want to make sure there was no confusion. Just in case you're joining us and you do use a different copyright, like our 2023 or 2021 copyright, you can definitely stay on the webinar. The platform has changed, but in general, the use with Google Classroom is very similar. So I do think you're going to still benefit from today's session, even though I'll be demoing the 2025 copyright. But our plan today is to make sure that teachers know how to log into our program and access our resources. We'll talk about both the teacher and the student-facing resources, and I'm going to show you how to navigate the platform and use with Google Classroom all in the next 25 minutes, leaving the last 5 minutes for just Q&A. If you have a question and want to put it in the chat box, or even if you're not sure if you're at the right webinar, feel free to type it in the chat box. We've got plenty of individuals from Goodheart-Willcox here that can answer some of those questions in the chat, even though I'm not able to see them right now. Now, on the right-hand side, there is a QR code. If you're using our 2025 copyright, we would love for you to scan this QR code at this time and sign up for our additional training videos. And that's something we just recently started with our 2025 copyright. So I'll pause for just a moment. And there's going to be some additional support. We do have our training videos. And if you sign up using that QR code that I just showed you, you're going to get this training video anyways, which is how to use with Google Classroom. And then the additional how to support us, how to submit a support ticket, and also our knowledge-based articles. So actually all of these resources will be sent to you as long as you sign up using that QR code. So I'm going to jump right into our platform. So when you log in, so as a teacher, there's different ways to log in. So if you're using our program with Google Classroom, you're either logging in through Clever, logging in through ClassLink, or you're logging in using through our general platform using the username and password that you have created. So the first thing you always have to do is register your account if you're using our general platform. And then once you do that, this is the screen that you're going to see. So if you're using our high school title, it may be the comprehensive version or it may be the essential version. The middle school title for comprehensive and essential. And if you are using our essential version, you may have a companion text. These are your teacher resources. Now, how I navigate the high school program will be the same as how I navigate the middle school program. So I will just begin by clicking on the high school program. And this is what the platform will look like. So to begin, you can choose any module you want. I'll choose module 2. And let's start with our digital textbook. And on the left-hand side, you'll see our digital textbook in English and Spanish for every lesson. So as a teacher, let's imagine you're on your planning period and you're prepping for your next day's class or next week's class, and you're wanting to use this with Google Classroom. So I'll click on a lesson. I'll click on 2.6, English text. So teachers, here's your first tip with using this program with Google Classroom. And even though if you happen to join us today and you're not using our 2025 copyright, it's actually the same technique regardless of what copyright you're using. Whatever page you want students to start reading on, copy the link. If I want them to start, oops, sorry about that. If I want them to start on page 1, then I will copy that link. If I want them to start on another page, like page 2, I will copy this link. So as a teacher, you're going to go to the page you want them to start on. Copy the link. Go to Google Classroom, and I'm in my second block practice class. I've already clicked on classwork. And the first thing I like to do as a teacher is I like to click create, and I'm going to add a topic. A topic, think of that as kind of like a title, or it's a place to organize. You know, every teacher likes to name their topics different ways. I used to say like day 2, lesson 2.6, mindset. However you'd like to name it, and then you add a topic. Now I'm going to fill this with the things I want my students to do. And the first thing I wanted them to do was read at the page I wanted them to start at. So I'll click create, and I'm going to add material. And let's give it a title. Now, realistically, I'm not going to have my students read all of 2.6 in one sitting. I might, in this description box, ask them to read these 5 pages or these 2 sections of information or 1 section. So you can give them a description of what you want them to read, but you're giving them the starting point. And then I will paste the link. Make sure to click enter just so it's a hyperlink, or you can also paste the link here. So it doesn't matter if you paste the link in the description box or where it says link. Second block, all students, and I do have a topic, and I'll add it to day 2, lesson 2.6 mindset, and post. So now I've added my first link to Google Classroom. Now this is really important, teachers. When your students get to class, the first thing we need them to do is log into the platform. Now, there's 2 different ways that they might do that. If you're a district that has purchased Clever or ClassLink, you're going to get your students to log in through Clever or ClassLink, and all they need to do is click the GW app. Just by clicking that app, that's going to log them into our platform, send them right to Google Classroom, and when they click on this link, it will take them to the page of the book you wanted them to start reading on. Now, if you're not using Clever or ClassLink, you probably purchased our general platform, and just have your students log in using the shared username and password as soon as they log into our platform, then send them right to Google Classroom. They'll click on the link and this page will populate. So that's your first tip with using it with Google Classroom. Now let's talk about the features on the left-hand side. The home button takes you back to the main landing page. I can zoom in and see this page closer, zoom out, make it smaller, and the student can search with the magnifying glass by a key term or page number. Click again to close. I can also use this table of content to navigate within a lesson, but it is going to keep me in the lesson. At the top, whether you're looking at our middle or high school program, you'll see an essential question, learning outcome statements, key terms, and a reading and note-taking activity. Now, high school, your program will begin with a warm-up. Middle school, yours begins with an introduction. You'll see that both our middle and high school program is chunked by section. And middle school, at the end of every section, you do have reading checkpoint questions. Now, both our middle and high school program also has opportunities to practice valuable health skills. This one is titled Health Across the Lifespan. These are our skills-based features, and you'll see that every single one of them, we've always identified the skill being practiced. So great opportunity to get students in teams of 2, allow them to collaborate and connect to the real world. And here's another one, a case study. And this time we're setting goals. Notice I'm scrolling down. By scrolling down, we do meet accessibility guidelines. If your students need the pages read to them, they can use their built-in screen readers from their browser. If you ever have a student who speaks another language other than English or Spanish, just show that student that they can click the 3 dots, click translate. It detects English for me, but I can choose another language. There's lots to choose from, and just click translate. Now this is Google Translate, but you can see I can scroll up and down and it does translate. So the translation is really good because we do meet accessibility guidelines, but it is Google Translate. I'll go back to English. Here's another one of our skills-based features, and this time we're practicing Standard 7. And when you get to the end of the lesson, I'll just make my way through. There is a summary, comprehend concept questions. Teachers, you will have a digital copy of that you can assign as a Google Doc, along with the critical thinking skills questions as well. And another opportunity to practice health skills with our health and wellness skills feature. So the format of the text for both middle and high is very similar, and also use with Google Classroom. Just remember, go to the page you want them to start reading on, copy the link, and paste it right to Google Classroom. So that was our digital textbook. I'll return to the platform by clicking on the tab to the left. And just know that it's also available in full Spanish. It does match page for page, and it is an authentic translation. Now, in addition to our textbook, we also have additional student resources. So we're going to stay within Module 2. And at the top of my screen, I'm highlighting, see how you can toggle between student-facing resources and teacher-facing resources. I'm going to click on student-facing resources, and I'll scroll down to find Lesson 2.6. And now I can see all the student-facing resources that I can choose from as a teacher. We know you're probably not going to use all of these resources, so pick and choose which ones are best for the needs of your students. Now, let's first talk about the handouts. You'll see that every lesson for both middle and high has a reading guide. I'm going to click on it. And when you click on this, it will go to your downloads. Just open it up. Now, if you are on a Mac, teachers, and your Mac does not have Word, don't worry about it if the documents are not opening, because in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to take all of our files, bring them into your Google Drive, and they will all convert to Google Docs. Because as you can see, these are opening as Word documents. I can enable editing, make any changes that I want to this document. I could print it, or I could send it to my Google Drive and convert it to a Google Doc. And I'll show you that in just a moment. First, let's continue to take a look at what we have. So if you're a teacher that likes more text-dependent questions, I probably would take a closer look at the reading guide. There are definitely some thought-provoking questions that are related to the text for both middle and high. Also, the review and assessment questions. Those are going to be the questions at the end of the lesson. Middle school has them as well. Middle school, you also have a vocab activity. But if you're the teacher that likes the more skills-based real-world application types of assessments, I would take a closer look at our workbook pages. Just click on it and open it up. Now, a lot of these workbook pages are going to put students in real-life situations, scenarios, ask them questions like, what would you do? What would you say? Make a decision, set a goal, analyze and influence. Great opportunity to get students in teams of 2, allowing them to collaborate. Maybe just debrief as a class, or you could do it as an independent assignment. So again, if you're using our workbook pages, the student would not have needed to read all of lesson 2.6 to do these, because they are extension, practicing skills, real world application. Now, high school, you also have some skill development activities as well, very similar to the workbook pages, just from a different author. Now, all of these are in English. They are also in Spanish right here. So as a teacher, I could download one, decide that I really want to use this one on the impact of self-talk. Let's go to my Google Drive. Now that I'm in my Google Drive, before I bring that document into my drive, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to check my settings. So you're going to click this gear icon in the top right corner and click Settings. Scroll down, and I strongly suggest make sure this box is checked. By checking this box, anytime you bring one Word document into your drive or an entire folder of Word documents into your drive, then they'll automatically convert to Google Docs, and that's going to save you time. Now, teachers, that is not going to come checked for you. You will need to check that box if you would like so. Once you've checked that box, just click this arrow to the left and you'll go back. Now you can click New, do a file upload, and we're going to take that one file on self-talk and click Open. And while that is working on it and that's loading, I will go back to Google Classroom because I've decided I would like to assign that. So to assign to Google Classroom, I'll click Create, Assignment. Let's give it a title. Oop, I think that was called Self-Talk. I could give directions for my students. I'll click Drive. And it should be sitting in Recents because I just uploaded it, and click Add. And you can see that it has been added as a Google Doc. Don't forget to make a copy for each student. And on the right-hand side, I've got my class, all students. I could assign a point value, a due date, and don't forget to always click your topic so it goes in the right space, and click Assign. And now we have created an assignment and added as a Google Doc. So teachers, if you're thinking to yourself that I don't really want to download each individual file, and instead I'd like to bring them all into my Google Drive with one click, we have that option as well. So all of these handouts are also available in the student resource zip file in English, and then we also have our Spanish handouts. So if you don't want to download individual files, just click the student resource zip, open it up from your downloads, and the folder will look like this. This is all of Module 2. So if you open it, you will see the individual lesson folders. So if I click on 2.6 again, I can see all the handouts that are available. So wouldn't it be nice if I could take this and bring it right into my drive? That's what I'm going to show you now. So teachers, if you're on a Chromebook, look on the left-hand side, and you should be able to see like your Google Drive. And if you're on a Chromebook, all you need to do is drag and drop. If you're on a Mac, then don't do this next step. The next step I'm going to show you, do not do if you're on a Mac. But for everybody else, you'll need to do this extra step. Right-click, click the copy. You are going to copy it out of this zip file. Now you can paste it anywhere you want, on your desktop, in your downloads. I'm just going to paste it back in my downloads in this big open space. So off to the side, just right-click and paste. And once that populates, you'll see that there's a folder without the zipper. Now you can go back to your Google Drive. This time, click New and do a folder upload. Choose the folder and click Upload. Now, it'll take a minute or 2 minutes for all the documents, but basically everything will convert to a Google Doc, which is a huge time saver for a teacher who's using Google Classroom. So those are our handouts. I will scroll back to 2.6 and we'll take a look at some of the other resources that are available for every lesson in middle and high. So both middle and high, every lesson has flashcards. Now I'm going to highlight everything with this green check or green arrow. And all of these you'll add to Google Classroom the same way. So I'll click on my English flashcards. And you click it to flip it. The student, if they already know this one, they can remove it from the deck and they can click next to go to the next one. So if you love it, all you need to do, teachers, copy the link, go back to Google Classroom, click Create, and because it's really just an opportunity for students to self-practice, it's not a grade, I'm going to add it as material. Give it a name. And I can either post the link here, same as before, or post the link by clicking Link and add link. Second block, all students. Again, I do have that topic of 2.6 and post. And then those are available for every lesson in middle and high in both English and Spanish, full Spanish. Every lesson has a matching activity. Again, all of these assessments are really just intended for students to practice. The program prompts me to keep trying until I get them all right. It's not going to send you a grade or notification that the student did it. If you love it, copy that link, send it right to Google Classroom for students to practice. Every lesson has a vocab game. It is set up similar to Jeopardy. Whether they get it right or wrong, it does tell them the correct answer. Every lesson has a spelling challenge. Play the term, try to spell it correctly. A glossary, and an audio summary. Again, any of these, just feel free to copy the link and paste in. So it truly is about picking and choosing what you want to use from our program. And if I scroll to another lesson, you'll actually find that the format is all very similar. And even though I'm navigating our high school program, you'll find that it's all very similar for middle school as well. So these are our student resources. Now, teachers, I'm going to click to instructor. And as soon as I click instructor, you'll see that those resources have changed. As I'm scrolling down, I want to point out that if you do not want to download all the individual files, you have the instructor resource zip that will include all of these documents, including the PowerPoint presentation. Now, given our time, I'm not going to have a chance to click on everything. More importantly, I just want to show you where things are located to give you guys some time to ask questions. So every lesson for middle and high does have a lesson plan. Just know that when you click on them, they'll all go to your downloads so that you can edit as needed. If you've not taken a look at our lesson plans yet, they are very detailed, providing options for differentiation and also showing the skill being practiced. We've got scope and sequence. We've got a pre-quiz for every lesson in middle and high. We also have a post-quiz for every lesson in middle and high. So if you're looking for kind of those text-dependent questions, you'll find those here, and you are welcome to copy and paste, put it in a Google form, and let it auto-grade. If you scroll down, you'll see the answers just below. Every lesson has an easier version of the reading guide for both middle and high. Every lesson has a PowerPoint. It will open as a PowerPoint, but they've all been formatted to convert to Google Slides. There's also PowerPoint guided notes for the student. And depending on the lesson you're looking at, some lessons do have teacher-directed activities, and some lessons have parent engagement homework assignments. And so again, everything is located in this zip file off to the left. Also located in this zip file off to the left is our assessments and answer key section. I'll click on that. So teachers, imagine you're done with module 2. Here is your review day lesson plan. A letter for families that highlights the lessons included. You could share that with them before or after. Your answer keys. They are divided by lesson. Now, for those teachers that prefer a skills-based summative as your big grade at the end of module 2, you'll definitely love our performance tasks. Most modules for middle and high have 4 different ones you could choose from. Or if you prefer just a traditional exam, we've got easy, intermediate, and difficult. Again, just click on any of these to take a closer look at them. And besides that, we do have our instructors edition as well, which will show you the correlation to the standards, answer keys, and in middle school, you will see options for differentiation. So thus far, I have been navigating module 2. Remember, the textbook is on the left in English and Spanish. Just copy the link, paste to Google Classroom. In the middle of the screen, you can toggle between student and instructor. For student, you're going to take a look at the handout options available, pick what you like, upload it to your drive, convert it to a Google Doc, and send it to Google Classroom. Any of these that have the green arrow, including some of the lessons will have videos and animations. If you love it, just copy the link and paste to Google Classroom. And by switching to instructor, you do have all your teacher-facing resources as well. I always suggest start with the lesson plan. It highlights everything you have for every single lesson. Now, how you navigate one module will be the same as how you navigate the other modules. One last thing I want to show you is your course planning at the very top. Make sure to check this out. In our course planning section, we do have our content update lessons, which have been loved from teachers across the United States. We're constantly adding brand new lessons for teachers throughout the life of their contract. So definitely take a look at those. We've got some best practices. Course planning guides, if you're using our middle school program, we do have course planning guides that divide our book by multiple grades. And then if I continue to scroll down, both middle and high school has additional templates, additional rubrics, and high school, this is where you find your vocabulary activities. Middle school, yours are embedded in the handout section. And lastly, our opt-out materials. So if you're using our comprehensive version, or you're using one of our companion texts that accompany the essential version, you'll have our opt-out materials. So if you ever have a student opt out of one of the more sensitive topics like STIs, dating relationships, human sexuality, STIs, abstinence, we do have alternative activities for students. Okay. Nicole, you're welcome to stay on as well after we end the meeting, but we love to get your feedback. We're always looking to improve our training and professional development for teachers. I think this is a quick 5-question feedback form on how I did today. If you guys have a chance to scan that and answer those questions. Also, we do have just a general PD email address that we're all constantly monitoring. So you're always welcome to email us at pd@g-w.com. And we'll quickly answer those questions if you need anything from us. We're always here. We really want to make sure that teachers are happy and successful using our health program. So thank you guys so much for your time today. I'm really glad you came. If you have any individual questions, you're more than welcome to stay on. If not, have a wonderful day. Thank you.